Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are zooming in from. I'm going to go ahead and open up a couple things here that will help me as I do this semi-solo today. Welcome to our pilot information session with Yellowdig. I do see a couple newcomers, new people here, some familiar names, I will say, not faces, sadly. So we're going to get started because we actually only have 30 minutes and there's a lot to send links your way in this pilot information session. And so make sure you have either your phone handy or the chat box handy to gather these links. Okay, so I already recognize some names, but I would like to know, first and foremost, what do you know about Yellowdig so far? So some of you might know just a little bit about the platform itself, or probably have read us in a couple studies. So if you know something, just drop that in the chat. Or what are you hoping to learn today? So if you're entirely new, what do you hope to learn today? We'll take about 30 seconds for this. Okay. So what do you know so far about Yellowdig, or what are you hoping to learn? There's a lot to learn. I'm actually about six or so months new to Yellowdig, coming from classroom-based teaching, and so I enjoy Yellowdig and could have used it in my grad courses. So what do we know so far about Yellowdig? What are we hoping to learn today? Thank you, Graceful. She mentions that my daughter is a student at Capella and loves Yellowdig. I love that. To see whether it can be used in courses here. Thank you, Jeffrey. Jen says, I know very little and I'm hoping to learn about the features and functions. Absolutely. Hi, Gina. I've been wanting to try this for several years. It's wonderful. I think opportunities for engagement are excellent. Absolutely, especially at a time when, one, we might be asynchronous courses, and like right now, I can't see any of your faces, but I can see your thoughts online. Yellowdig certainly brings that to life. Benefits over using the Canvas discussion board. Thank you, Penny. We're definitely going to talk about some clear distinctions. So my name is Natalie. I work primarily with our pilot onboarding. I've been with Yellowdig for about 6 or so months, coming from a secondary science teaching, and I just moved straight into education technology for the very reasons of how can I increase engagement when, one, I can't see my students' screens. They might be in 6th grade, but I've just always been a big advocate for using tech. In the chat, we have Jamie Snow. He's one of our partnerships managers, and he will be there to answer any questions and provide some links throughout this time.
Hi, everyone. Thanks.
Sorry. I do apologize in advance. There is some leaf blowing happening outside right now, so if that gets too loud, I'm sorry. We are going to talk about what is Yellowdig, our philosophy, and what makes us unique, the platform experience and impact, discussing some outcomes, of course, and impact from our platform winter cohort, our 2022 winter offer for our pilot, which we are all here for. And then if there is some time, a really quick demo about about Yellowdig, but specifically the onboarding features. Right when you create a new community, what does it look like, and how have we made it accessible for you to set up your community pretty much on your own? We'll have some time for Q&A at the end, but as always, feel free to drop any of that in the chat for us. Okay. So if you were here last week, we had a couple questions. We had a lot of questions about Yellowdig's name. And so I'm just gonna say that real quick. Yellowdig's name actually originates from the color psychology behind yellow, being uplifting, illuminating, and inspiring inquisitiveness. It's the color that helps focus, study, and recall information. And the dig aspect means to turn over or unearth. So our philosophy behind Yellowdig is really designed to inspire learners to dig deeper and unearth more knowledge and inspire new perspectives, all through our asynchronous or synchronous platform that you can use. So what is Yellowdig? We are a digital social engagement platform that leverages an understanding of human behavior and gainful technology to build highly connected communities. What this means is we focus on 3 core values of building community through authenticity of real conversations brought about by what's relevant to students as it relates to either their course material or actually how they're learning. So of course, our 2020 experience and 2021 experience of the pandemic has kind of pushed us into online learning in different places on campus and whatnot. So our platform remains or off campus. So our platform remains relevant for adapting to this changing landscape. And of course, our technology itself comes with data-driven ways for you to understand outcomes and how exactly your students are progressing through Yellowdig. And we provide a lot of data for you to see that firsthand. And of course, I will go into showing you that in the demo. So I am going to talk a little bit here about what makes us unique. I know there's several questions about how it's different than either Canvas discussion boards or how it might be different from Blackboard, or even if your course uses like Slack or Facebook Messenger. We've heard all kinds of ways to help students interact with each other. So if you're here, you've probably questioned how Yellowdig is actually unique, right? And so what I can say is there's not one answer, there's many that set us apart. But this conversation usually starts with a problem that you're trying to solve. So whether it's increasing student engagement, reducing student dropout, or just trying to learn how exactly your students are processing your course material, Yellowdig supports active learning, student agency, increases course participation and engagement and retention. And I'm not just saying that, we actually have studies that correspond to each of these aspects. So our platform, what makes us unique, really does these by keeping the social aspects of learning at the forefront of how our technology works. So any behavior of posting, commenting, receiving reactions or accolades from instructors or TAs, anything from listening or viewing others' posts is a form of how we're processing information and how we learn. And the best part is through our gameful learning design, these behaviors are actually incentivized and rewarded so students come back into the platform and keep posting and keep engaging. And so all of this is done without having you as the instructor really encouraging students to participate all the time. Oftentimes instructors might find themselves moving away from the one post, comment twice, discussion assignments, and really see the community drive more relevant based conversations. So what we actually find is the conversations in Yellowdig are based on actual student interest rather than being forced by our instructors. Of course, the best part of Yellowdig, I think, is that our data section has a lot of insights and benchmarks for not only you as the instructor to see how your students are processing different topics in your course, earning their points, but also for the students. Students develop their own agency in looking at the points they've earned per week and over the duration of your course. And so all of this is covered more in detail in the Instructor Certification course, of which is a requirement for the pilot. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Okay, I'm going to jump into the chat here, kind of look at the Q&As. Yeah, Facebook group in which I post articles. Will Yellowdig facilitate discussion of these articles? Absolutely. Yellowdig has a feature in which you can drop links to articles, PDFs, you can upload videos, and you can generate discussions around virtually anything that you bring into the platform. Absolutely. Where's my Q&A? I see one open. Oh, thank you, Lisa. She's hoping to learn a pro-con aspect of Yellowdig in online learning formats. Thank you for being here. So I want to ask actually now, which is an excellent time, is what kinds of communities are you hoping to build with Yellowdig? As you type in the chat, what kinds of communities you're hoping to create, we primarily see use cases of formal learning, so mainly courses. However, we have seen student orientations, co-curricular, faculty uses, high school clubs and extracurriculars have used our discussion platform. So there really is no limit, I think, to creating a community that that brings together learning and then learners. So go ahead and put in the chat. I'm always curious to know what kinds of communities we're looking to create. I do know some of you so far want to create courses. And again, one way we do this is a deep understanding of human behavior combined with gameful learning.
So Natalie, Leah says formal learning and orientation.
Oh, here they are. Great.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Jen, new hire training, graceful, create community among asynchronous students in a program. Jeffrey, I want to encourage interaction between students in my ethics courses. And Howard, high school communities and supportive projects embedded in the curriculum. Those are all great use cases.
Yeah, absolutely. Formal learning, co-curricular activities, Gina mentions would love to create a community where students partner with someone, like them or unlike them, to show how we can learn from others. And I think all of these are excellent, and features within Yellowdig support these avenues. So excellent. I will say, for platform experience and impact, we have partnered with universities and departments to bring about studies that show an increase in engagement 2 times, this is coming from Fort Hays and Strayer, as well as decrease in course drop from Arizona State University and Capella, as well as student satisfaction coming from University of Nebraska and University of Florida. I will say I am happy to be the first to announce through a live webinar that our Yellowdig platform has actually been featured in a case study conducted with online education services to show a correlation with increasing student retention and passing rates through highlighting at-risk students using one of Yellowdig's features, of which I believe is our network graph. But I will have Jamie drop that blog in the chat for you to read on your own time about this study that was just released. So we are happy to dive in that with you, if that's a possibility. So here are the hundreds of logos we have. If you have your phone handy, you can download A Better Way to Learn. This is more of a general overview of what Yellowdig is. This is a document that you can forward to anyone in your department or anyone who's just interested in exactly what Yellowdig is. It's just a general overview, and it has a great page of all of our partners. I believe we are actually in every continent except Antarctica is the last thing we had said in our demo last week. So that was new for me to learn. All right, let's get to it. So the requirements of our winter pilot. We've offered a pilot for some time now. And I will say what's different about the winter offer is it is offered for courses that start January 1st through March 31st. So absolutely you can start your pilot process now. This is for new department or universities using Yellowdig. So if you are in the Department of Psychology, for example, and you have never had an instructor using Yellowdig, but you know, or even were referred to by, I don't know, the Department of Horticultural Studies, your Department of Psych is clear for a free pilot. Okay, so this is any new department or university using Yellowdig. We do want 100 students or more, so that can be combined over many courses of yours or a single course. So if you have over 100 students, this pilot is now applicable to you. And you must complete the Instructor Certification course, which will go through more aspects of the pedagogy and technology behind Yellowdig. It is, I just cannot emphasize enough of how important this Instructor Certification course is. Okay, looking in the chat, don't see anything else here. You can download the pilot information flyer here. It gives you an overview, including, I believe, a link to the registration form, but I'm going to keep going here and go through the next 3 steps. And Jamie can put that download or pilot information flyer in the chat for you. Okay, 3 easy steps. Complete the pilot registration form. These go directly to me and other members of the team, and I'll be working with you on getting started. Number 2, become certified, and 3 is start designing a community. Super easy, and let's go through each one, and you'll be receiving links in the chat box as we speak. So the free trial registration form is for any new instructor or instructional designer hoping to help instructors with Yellowdig. So we do want anyone who's going to be teaching or helping instructors with Yellowdig in their courses to complete this form. It's extremely important because we ask questions, not just what are you hoping to get out of Yellowdig? Are there specific students, just intentions for the community you want to create? And we ask also, are you hoping to integrate Yellowdig with your learning management system? So very important, takes about 1 to 2 minutes to fill out. And the link is in the chat now where you can scan this code on the screen. Yeah, there's really not much else. It's just completing the registration form. Any questions? Okay, the leaf blower guys is coming, so I gotta kind of hurry. The next is to complete our instructor certification course. Again, this really is designed to go through the pedagogy and technology behind how Yellowdig supports student learning and engagement. So it's important because within this course, you'll actually be able to have access to the Yellowdig instructor support community. This is a global community that pretty much acts like a help desk. If you want to, it's like a Reddit forum. If you guys use Reddit, are just kind of asking instructors and getting everyone's experiences of using Yellowdig for the first time, or possibly their 3rd or 4th year. Must be completed to access the pilots. It does take about 45 to 50 minutes or so, depending on how long it takes you to really go through each of the resources or just complete it. And we have had positive feedback about this instructor certification course. You might find there are other courses to take that we have a STEM course, we have other courses available. However, the only one required for the pilot is this instructor certification. Okay. Next is to set up the community. Once I receive the confirmation of your instructor certification, we will be sending your instructional designer or your IT specialist the information to create the community for you if you would like to embed it within your LMS, Canvas, or Blackboard. What else do we have? We have other various platforms where we can embed your community in. And so this community setup is important for instructors or ITs or IDs who will be overseeing this. We do have a guided walkthrough. We'll send you videos, we'll send you links that you can use to help set up your course. But we also highly encourage this one-on-one technical support, about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. What's included in this pilot? So to start off, there are onboarding meetings during the registration process, the first weeks of your course. Those are led by our client success team, partnerships member, and me sometimes at those meetings. If you do have 100 or more students and more than one instructor using this pilot, we're going to strongly recommend and encourage a setup call with our client success team. We've had many instructors in departments come together and us do a live demo, answer questions, and really go through the nitty-gritty of just how they would like suggestions on designing their community. So that is definitely encouraged, bold and underline a setup meeting with us. We do, as I said before, have an optional integration with your LMS. So you can use a standalone version of our platform. I will say that we also operate as an app, which is just putting Yellowdig on Safari or Chrome browser on your phone, and Yellowdig has the same functionality and capabilities there. So those options are available. And of course, every 2, 6, and 10 weeks of your course, I'll be sending over pilot data, support, and interpretation. You will see in a couple of minutes that the platform actually has all of that laid out and the description of what the data means, but I'll be sending that as well. Optional case studies and department or faculty-wide meetings, as well as efficacy report building. Any questions so far? I think I said that in about one breath. So Jamie, do you want to voice in? Did I leave anything out?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. Jim did mention another use case, which is for networking that can't occur in person right now. So giving people the platform to be able to do that, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. Multiple communities that equal 100 or more can be used to put students in cohorts, and that way, or you can have them all in the same community. I mean, the options are endless of how to design a community. We will have time for a demo and a Q&A. I just quickly want to, again, talk about engagement versus a typical discussion assignment versus the kinds of community that's created in Yellowdig. So it's not so much as kind of just a difference between a Canvas, Blackboard, and Yellowdig. It's more of how the instructor is willing to kind of just change the mindset and shift the paradigm of how we actually create discussions that build community, or discussion assignments where students are posting for the instructor or for a grade, of which, of course, grades are very important. But with Yellowdig, what you're getting is a couple things. Number one, you become a citizen of the community, where you're interacting with your students through posts generated either through them, conversations brought up through you. We've also seen students starting some of the weekly topics or discussions. You can certainly have different, I would say, discussion. If you have different modules you're covering each week, you can certainly post those as topics. However, starting those off at the beginning of the course is going to help students be able to find information that's relevant right now and to something that you might be teaching a couple weeks later, right? So like an example would just be, I was a human development major, and so one of the topics is cognitive development. And we might not have an assignment or read that chapter until the 5th week. However, I found something relevant today, so I'm going to post about it. We'll have conversations that kind of ebb and flow throughout the community. Whereas discussion assignments, we kind of see groups of the go-getter leading off those one post, comment twice, and then kind of falling back towards the end of the week when everyone's just scrambling to put in their post to earn points. Of which we have seen. Okay, I'm going to read a couple of things in the chat or Q&A before we jump to the demo for 5 minutes. Can we take advantage of LMS integration and host communities within a Blackboard, but also separate communities? Yeah, that don't belong to specific courses. This is something that's really interesting, Leah, and I'd love to chat with you more one-on-one about this, because there's many ways that we can set up Yellowdig. I think this could be a possibility just from reading this, but I'd love to talk with you about your vision for creating community. Okay, let's dig into the demo. Every pun intended. And I'm going to do this. So I'm going to show launching in from a Blackboard community. I've never personally used Blackboard. I was a Canvas person at UC Davis. So launching in to this course is going to open up a separate tab for Yellowdig. And of course, as stated before, if you have the LMS integration, you'll be able to have the points passed back to your Canvas or Blackboard with a percentage of the total points over the duration of the course. Okay, so here it is. The single scroll feed of Yellowdig looks pretty much like a LinkedIn or social media feed that you can filter for certain topics or hashtags, what people are talking about. The most relevant post or the post that happened, I'm like blanking, but you can, the most recent post is at the top of your single scroll feed or whatever an instructor pins to the top. So as you can see here, Dr. Verdine works in our client success team. This is our demo community, and he posted an introduction, and we have all the TAs commenting below. And you can see that there is a differentiation between comments versus what's posted. Reactions, as an instructor, you can give extra points for accolades. But I really want to draw the attention to what you'll be able to see as soon as you start your community, and that is this onboarding setup. And I believe there's a link that Jamie might put in the chat for a blog article about what this is. But essentially, when you set up Yellowdig right when you get invited to start designing your community, so you'll start with the points integration. Or the points setup rather. So this will be the first day and last day of your course in order to earn points with a rollover date. We do encourage or recommend you to enable these points that incentivizes students to come back in the community. And of course, these points are converted as a percentage for participation, whatever your participation grade is. Next is sparking interesting conversations through topics. These are really those high level objectives that you're going to cover in your course. You do have some standard ones that come in, like question or Q&A or course info, but we encourage you to put things related to your course here. Definitely topics you can put as required. Kickstarting your community, we do have other resource videos that you will see in the instructor support, there's so many acronyms, ICC, Instructor Certification course. These are there as well to help you get started and give you some ideas on how you would like to start your community. Okay, I know we do have a good 2 minutes, so that wasn't our complete demo. We're happy to schedule a complete demo with you and your team. I am going to go to this slide so we can kind of sign off here and just open it up for any questions as you're viewing the screen. So here's our pilot registration form. You can put it in the chat again. Jamie, that will be extremely helpful. You can use the QR code here. And if you just want to reach out to me specifically about a pilot or anything, I can point you in the right direction. Any questions? I'm just putting my email in the chat.
I don't see any additional questions.
No, I think I did an okay, pretty good job. It's just like with my sixth graders, when I asked if there were any questions, they usually hear the same amount of crickets, but that's okay. There's plenty of opportunities to talk with someone from our team. So there's my email in the chat. Thank you, Jamie, for putting the registration form, and I hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you all so much.